Yo, what's good guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make dark samples for Pyrex. I'm going to be going over one of my samples from my most recent sample pack that I just dropped. It's got 20 dark samples, all in this kind of style, with the dark ambient kind of vibe. They all have the stems and midis included, so I'll go ahead and leave a link down in the description. Go in and show everything I did from the pattern to the effects, the midis, and just break it down. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get right into it. Alright, so I got this sample pulled up here. As you can see, we are sitting at 116 BPM, and this sample is in C minor. So a lot of my samples just somehow end up anywhere from like B to D sharp minor. I don't know why, I just like that that area, and I feel like a lot of Pyrex samples are in that key range. So yeah, we're sitting at C minor, 116 BPM. For Pyrex beats are usually slowed down, so around like 110 to 125 BPM. So I'll go ahead and play the sample so you can hear everything together. As you can see, we just got the strings, bass, 2 pianos, and then like a little pad or ambient noise. So I'll go ahead and play it so you can hear what it sounds like. Got that real dark vibe with the strings and the ambient piano. So the first thing that I did is I opened up Labs. This is a free VST. They have a whole bunch of sounds. So yeah, I highly recommend downloading this VST. It's nothing like too high quality, but once again, it's free. It's got a bunch of good, decent sounds in it. So I got this soft piano pulled up, and I laid down this pattern, this MIDI for the main piano. I'll go ahead and play just what that sounds like. So yeah, it just repeats that first part. Yeah, basically what this MIDI is just chords kind of like stacked. So the first chord is very simple, just G sharp, G, C, and it goes down, and then it repeats, and then the last chord, for every bar here, I strummed it so that it sounds like this. Just chord, and then I changed it up, the last one over here, and then it just repeats. So yeah, nothing too complex. Simple chords and then strumming. And then I got this other piano here, just as like a little counter melody higher up on the piano. And then once again, just repeats over this. I don't even really know how to explain what my thought process was for this. It's just kind of what sounded good when I was listening to the pianos together. So I'll go ahead and play what the pianos sound like together. And then obviously I added some effects. So for the first piano, I added an EQ'd out the low end, and then I added another EQ where I EQ'd out even more the low end, and then I added a little bit of RC20. And then for the other piano, I added another EQ'd out a lot of the low end, a little dip here, boosted some of the highs, and then once again EQ'd out even more of the low end, added some delay, reverb. So this is what it sounds like with the effects. And then it just repeats. Okay, so the next thing that I did for this sample was I added some strings from Philharmonic. Philharmonic's a really good VST for orchestral sounds. Like, I mean, they have pianos too that I use sometimes, but for the most part, I use it just for strings or brass, or there's like flutes in here and stuff. So I got this staccato string pulled up, and I just laid down this really simple pattern. And then for the second part, it's the same exact thing, but at the end I kind of switched it up. But yeah, really simple. It just sounded good with the piano. And then for effects, I just added an EQ for the low end, and then reverb. So I'll play what that sounds like with the piano. Yeah, it's got that bounce to it. The piano makes it really ambient and dark. As you can see, also I pan my sounds a lot, and I add stereo. Another thing you can do, another free plugin, is Ozone Imager. A lot of times with strings, I want them to be really wide sounding, so like you can make them wider here, and then you can put them in stereo. I didn't do it for this melody because I just did it here, but yeah, it's just another way you can do that to widen up your sounds. The next thing that I did is I pulled up Labs again, and I found this little pad, the piano pad, last one, and I just laid down a really complex pattern. I don't know if you guys will be able to replicate this. It takes a lot of music theory knowledge to be able to lay down a pattern like this, so I don't expect you guys to be able to do it, but I'm willing to show you. Obviously joking, but this is just one note. It just adds some ambience in the background. It's like a little pad noise. I'll go ahead and play it. And then it just repeats. But I did add some effects to it. EQ'd out the low end, added some RC20, and then this plugin is really good. Valhalla Shimmer, it kind of like, it's like a delay, modulation, reverb plugin. It just kind of has all that in one. Chorus too. They have different presets. I use the preset Big Reverse a lot, and I put it at 50%. So I'll go ahead and play what that sounds like with everything. Yeah, as you can hear, it's like way in the background. It just adds ambience. People might not even realize that the sound is there, but it adds a different feel to it, and kind of just gives like flavor, I guess, to the sample. So the last thing that I did is I added this bass from Omnisphere, Trillion. I'll go ahead and play what that sounds like. Again, really simple pattern, and it just repeats over. But I added some Camel Crusher with this preset, 75%. It just kind of adds some distortion and some compression to make it a little bit louder. Put it in mono, and yeah, that was the last thing I did for the sample. That's pretty much everything. I'll go ahead and play what everything sounds like together. And that's pretty much it for the sample, the patterns and the effects. The last thing that I did is I added an imager to the master just to widen it up just a little bit, and then I have Maximus here where I boosted the gain just to make it a little bit louder. I recommend doing that, boosting the gain instead of normalizing it, because I've noticed when I normalize it, for some reason it adds a lot of really harsh frequencies that you don't want to have. You don't want to have that in your samples. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the sample. As you can see, the way that I layer it out, I have the stems here so that people can mess with the volumes or whatever, add or remove sounds however they want. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Pyrex tutorial. Try to keep your sounds really simple, ambient, dark, and stay in this BPM range, and you should be good. So I'll go ahead and play the sample. Like I said, I just dropped a new sample pack with 20 samples like this. Stems included, MIDIs for all the instruments. So yeah, I'll leave a link down in the description for that, and I'll see you in the next video.